Good morning, Bezat Hashem. Welcome to Yeshivat Shalom Bayit, where we discuss Halacha. Today is the 27th of Mar Cheshvan, Monday of Parashat Toledot, Tavshin Pegimel. So yesterday we touched on a very important, beautiful subject, not to make a blessing on taking off the tefillin. We touched a little bit on this yesterday, but Baruch Hashem, we have here our dear friend who, Baruch Hashem, never misses a shiur. But yesterday, unfortunately, he was unable to come in the morning. But it's important to know that what does that mean, not to make a blessing? Shulchan Aruch says, don't make a bracha. He didn't say you don't need to. He says, En levarech, it's asur to make a bracha when you take off your tefillin. So we all went crazy yesterday, and Baruch Hashem, our Talmid Chacham, right away asked the same question. What's going on with you people? Who makes a blessing when you take off tefillin? Good, that was a good question. And the answer we said, that Mishnah Brura brings down here, that first of all, we have to know that the tefillin is here for your protection. As we said, right, 2 days ago, if you remember, on Thursday, I believe, morning, we said that if a person has any nidnud, meaning any thought of evilness in him that day, that means his tefillin did not have an effect on him that day. Meaning, he had an avera thought, let's say, with a woman, or he saw a woman and he enjoyed what he saw on the street, a bus passing by, or whatever it was, right? So, what's the purpose of that? We said the halacha is because his tefillin did not have an effect on him. If you remember, Shulchan Aruch clearly says it. The tefillin, we learn from there, tefillin is supposed to elevate you, supposed to make you holy, right? So now, this is the answer, Mistama, to your question, Rabbi Yitzchak. Why do you need to make a bracha at the end when you take off tefillin? So we answered yesterday, specifically it's talking about people who are concerned about this, that they will only be always holy, and the tefillin has to have an effect on them. So when they took off tefillin, they were afraid that impurity will come up on them. So in order to prevent that at the time when they were wearing tefillin all the time, and specifically the problem was Friday afternoon. What was the problem on Friday afternoon? Because the Kabbalat Shabbat, we used to do early, by Sfaradim especially, so you take off tefillin Kabbalat Shabbat, and you had a problem then, even more. Before Shabbat starts, you have those minutes that you don't wear tefillin. Maybe chas v'shalom, it will affect you negatively. So in the olden days, they used to make a bracha
to be protected,
not to be affected negatively. You hear what's going on here? So Shulchan Aruch says today, since Chafetz Chaim says today, since we don't wear tefillin all the time, we just wear the tefillin for the morning. Therefore, we don't have that fear. And anyway, we're not fearing anything, so might as well. You're not fearing about all the bad thoughts that you're going to have. Don't make a bracha anyway, it's not going to help you. That's unfortunately. Anyway, now we're going to start Siman Lamed, as according to the order. Let's start. We're on page 78, everybody.
Introduction.
What?
The introduction.
Yeah. Zman Nachatan Ubo Hey Seifim. So Siman Lamed, the 30th Siman over here, it's the time of putting on the tefillin. And there's going to be 5 halachot, seifim talking about it. Aleph, Zman anachat b'chatan b'bokir mishiret chavero haragil imo k'tzat berchuk dalet amot liyakireinu. So the question is, when do you start putting it on? As we already stated, it's not talking about from Amud HaShachar. It's not talking about from the first rays of the light, of the dawn. It's talking about from the time you could recognize the person that you regularly know from a distance of 6 to 8 feet away from you in the dark. Not today with all the lights. Today, obviously, you're going to the desert, and you'll find out the time. This, as we said already, there's a big machloket. According to Rav Ovadia Yosef, with all due respect, we have a big problem with his opinion. It's 1 hour and 6 minutes, right? The whole Amud HaShachar is 1 hour and 12 minutes. In 6 minutes, somehow it became very bright by Rav Ovadia, and he says it's already time to make a bracha. We in America, most probably supposed to follow the Mara de Atras over here, and all the Mara de Atras, there's a big machloket in Rav Moshe, and the others who are in opinions of 45 minutes to 50 minutes, which would make more sense when you have more light. That's when you could recognize somebody in the distance. So there are people who make a bracha, put on tefillin and talit. We already discussed this. By the talit, it's the same thing with the tefillin. Some people put it at 15 minutes and make brachot. Again, we're talking about making brachot. When is the heter? It's not a simple thing. Rav Ovadia says 1 hour and 6 minutes before Netzach Hama. Over here in America, I never nahuk like this. Sometimes I'm between before 50 minutes, between 45, 48 minutes. only because of a mistake. But a mahmir, makbid, would be to be within 45 minutes of Netzach Hama, to make a bracha of the tefillin and the talit. Okay, not to go into machlekot. What you talk about? 45 minutes before Netzach Hama, it's plenty of time to daven. So don't rush. What are you rushing for? I had a big tzaddik that I used to learn by, and a very big tzaddik. He treats me like his friend, but he's a big tzaddik, big Gedol Ador, Rab Avram Shor. Rab Avram Shor Shlita, a Levi, Baruch Hashem, and I was part of his minyan, and part of his groups and learning by him. He disdained the nets davening. He always told me, hey, these people davening nets, they don't kavanah, they don't nothing, they're just rushing all the time. So I told him once, you come to Bnei Yosef, Rabbi, Netz Minyan, we start Shaharit, 15 minutes before Netzach Hama. 50, and Chazud, all the zeh. You go to Bnei Sfaradim over here even, they sing, Oz Yeshir, Kacha, and there's no rush. You know there is no rush, you don't feel there is rush. That's it.
You get a lot of pressure. If you're a chazan, you get so much pressure. You want to be on time.
Right. So that's what Rabbi Shor said. He said, it's not davening. It's not davening. You don't daven Netzach Hama because of rushing, but still, so 50 minutes before davening, it's fine. And on Shabbat, you want to daven hour 20 minutes, hour 10 minutes after the shul start. Okay, so you do all the till Baruch Shamar, and then you put on talit. How much already time you need from Baruch Shamar? Half hour is enough. On Shabbat, let's say 35 minutes. Good. Till Baruch Shamar, you say everything, and then you put on talit without any problems. Okay. On a regular day, also tefillin. 45 minutes to 50 minutes will be making bracha. Bet. Asur le'aniach tefillin balayla. Shema yishkachem v'yishan b'hem. So we said yesterday, the Mishnah Brura told us actually that it's a mitzvah to wear tefillin 24/7. 24/7, even at night. So the rabbi says here, it's a mitzvah, but now it's asur. Maran says it's asur to put on the tefillin at night. Why? Because you might forget and you might fall asleep in them. What happens to the person who puts on the tefillin before the nightfall, and now he's already holding at night with tefillin on? If a person stays awake and he is learning Torah and he wears the tefillin the whole night, not a problem. He's not obligated to take them off. Ve'en morin ken. However, we don't teach people to do such things. Okay? אם לא חלץ תפילין מששקע חמה, מפני שלא היה לו מקום של שומרן, ונמצאו עליו כדי לשומרן מותר ומורין כן. ומותר ומורין כן. Okay. So now what happened was, אם לא חלץ תפילין מששקע, if the person did not take off the tefillin from the time of Shkiyah, the sun's set, מפני שלא היה לו מקום לשומרן, because he didn't know where to put them. He was traveling, whatever it was, or where to keep them. So a person is traveling. Let's say he's walking. He needs to go from point A to point B in the middle of the night. Let's say he's stuck in the middle of the night in the forest, especially in the forest.
I-95.
Huh?
I-95.
No, in the forest, which is dangerous. And if he has tefillin, it's a shmirah. We said tefillin keeps the mazikim away. So now,
what's mazikim?
Mazikim, evil spirits. Demons. Yeah.
Spooky.
What?
Spooky.
I'm talking about he's right now going to forest. He's going from one town to the next town.
Yeah.
And where he's going to put his tefillin? There's nothing, what's his name? So he could keep on the tefillin, no problem. And the whole purpose why he's wearing them is to make sure that they are honored. Well, he's going to put it in his pouch, in his pocket. Let's see, he's riding a horse. He's going to put it, where he's going to put it on? While he's sitting on them, a lot of disrespectful things that he could do. And no, they didn't have backpacks in all those days. You might say, put it in the backpack, right? Okay, in those days they didn't have. So now, mutar or morin can. However, in this case, the rabbi says you could tell him this is what you're supposed to do. Halacha gimel. היה רוצה לצאת לדרך בהשכמה, מניחם. So now what happened was a person at the time of rising in the morning, it's still dark, right? Yeah, it's still dark. He wants to put it on before the time of the machloket, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Rabbi Wadia wants 1 hour, 6 minutes, 66 minutes. So now he wants to put it on before that. So what do you do? כשיגיע זמנן Yimashmesh bahem yivarech. So now in the middle of the night, he's not allowed to make a bracha. Right? So at the time, when the time comes, according to Rabbi Wadia, within 1 hour and 5 minutes, I guess 6 minutes of sunrise, the rest are 50 minutes or 45 minutes. It says, shake them, Yimashmesh, shake them here and here. Then you could make a bracha. Over here, you can't tell them you cannot put it on in the night because we're afraid that you're going to fall asleep. You just woke up. What are you falling asleep from? You just woke up over there. We tell them it's okay to put it on at night. Because, the Rabbanan says all the time that I told you not allowed to put it at night, it's in the beginning of the night. Because we don't want you to fall asleep in them. But now that you woke up, no, we're not concerned and we're not suspecting that you're going to fall asleep in them. And everything, he's putting it on because he wants to go on the way. And there's no time, whatever it is. So he puts it on the way, and over there he davens. Halacha, this I have a lot of in our community. We have a lot of people who work in MTA in the city. MTA. One of my students actually, I have that works in MTA.
What's that?
Metro Transit Authority. So he works in a budka in what's his name? A lot of guys, electricians. A lot of guys work in the train stations, whatever it is, for the city. So they have a problem. They don't have a schedule like we have, unfortunately. Yeah. They have to be at work 6 o'clock in the morning. Wow. What do you do, these guys? 6 o'clock in the morning. They have to be at work. They have to be. Some people, the ones that are working in the station or in the budka, those are the best. They have a easy life.
Are they allowed to daven earlier?
So that's the question. So now they're not allowed to daven earlier. There is a minyan poalim that Avadia gives a heter to minyan poalim. What?
4 o'clock in the morning.
It depends. Only if Netz is 5 o'clock. It has to be after Amud HaShachar. It cannot be before Amud HaShachar. Now these guys I'm talking specifically, they're going to work before Amud HaShachar. They have to be at work 6 o'clock. It takes them 2 hours to get on a train. On the train, it takes them 2 hours to get to work. So he has to be there already. He leaves home 4 o'clock. Wow. And there is no davening on the place. They're going to give him a fine, whatever it is. What does he do?
What do you do?
What is a big crowd? So my guy does what he takes a break. A breakfast break. Yeah. Right? He comes there 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So they give him a lever because he's working on the budka. So for him, it's not a problem. He takes a half-hour break, puts on tefillin, like let's say 7 o'clock, 7:30, breakfast break, whatever it is, and takes it, and bye-bye. Now, what about the other guys that work on the train tracks? You know, those guys that repair train, whatever, the electricians, they have a big problem. They have a serious problem. They have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Netzach Hama is 7 o'clock. What do they do? So there's a lot of questions about it. How they do it, what they are. Now, let's say they want to go on the way. So if they're going in a train, let's say at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? And they have a special cover or special heads that no goyim going to look at them. Nobody's going to question or whatever it is. So they could put on tefillin early, but they have to wait till Amud HaShachar. And Mistama Minyan Poalim, it has to be Minyan. I don't know how you could daven by yourself before Netzach Hama. I think the halacha is that it has to be Minyan specifically. This is the Minyan and Hashem will allow it somehow. All the Mukabbalim are against it. Rav Ovadia find a heter, and a lot of people are jumping on it. I had a rule that there is not one poel. All millionaires. Imagine these guys. They all own textile companies. Talking about rich Syrians. You walk in there, Minyan Poalim. Hello, Netzach Hama 7:15. Rabbi, 6:25 we're finished davening. Hello, Netz is 7:20. 6:25 we finished davening. Minyan Poalim. Where they heterim for these things? Minyan Poalim. All the millionaires becoming Poalim. They're all Poalim. Not one poor person. Actually, there was one man who I knew worked at the fish market. Was probably richer than me by a billion, but he looked like a Nebuchadnezzar guy all the time, and that was the only person. Everybody's there with ties. Those millionaires that I used to deal business with sometimes, with some of them, real estate. Everybody there promoting and minyan poalim, Rahman al-Islam. I don't know what the heterim are for this thing. Hashem merachem aleinu. Over here also, somebody decided on Hashanah Rabbah to daven minyan poalim. Hashanah Rabbah. What poalim? What davening? Olamor, you're not allowed to go to work. Minyan poalim, they daven 1 hour before Netz. That's a shod. How you do that? 1 hour before Netz, they daven to finish because it's too long, Rabbi. Hashanah Rabbah, everybody stayed up. Don't stay up. If you're going to do the daven before the time, don't stay up. That's their problem. That's why Ashkenazim don't stay up, by the way. Shon Rabbah, Ashkenazim, most Ashkenazim don't stay up. They do the Sefer Dvarim by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock they finish, go home to sleep, and come, they make minyanim, and they daven until 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they make Sudot. It's a Yom Tov. There's no work in Chol HaMoed. But how this guy has decided here in Hollywood, I heard 2 places. 2 reputable places, and somehow they put in themselves a heter to daven before Zbanam. I don't know how they did it. I don't know. Hashem Rachem Aleinu. Next, Dalet. היה בא בדרך התפילין בראשו ושקע עליו חמה. Okay, so now what happened was he was traveling, and all of a sudden the sun set. או שהיה יושב בבית המדרש, ותפילין בראשו וקידש עליו היום. Same thing, or some person he was so engrossed in the Torah that he didn't pay attention and it became night already. יניח ידו עליהם עד שיגיע לבית. So now he's not allowed to walk outside in the street like that. What is people going to say? Look at this guy. Big chief, big tzaddik. So what do? Cover it up until you get home. ואם יש בית קרוב לחומה שמשתמרים שם, חולצם ומניחם שם. However, if in the shul or wherever he's learning, there is a place where he could store them for safety, take it off right away. Do not walk around with it. I guess I would say Yura, no? Because of Gava. It's not when people are going to say, tzaddik. Okay, hey. ויש מי שאומר שאם יתפלל תפילת ערבית מבעוד יום עד שלא הניח תפילין, אין לו להניחם אחר כך. So now, looks like over here you're allowed to daven tefillin, even daven ערבית with tefillin. But one condition, you stay the whole day with tefillin. Mm-hmm. But to put on tefillin before ערבית, even if you're davening tefillin, what's his name? Even if you're davening tefillin, to put on tefillin after ערבית, even though you daven ערבית early. Sometimes we have that, right? Shkia is 6 o'clock. So Shkia is 6 o'clock. People go down at 5 o'clock. Arvit. Right? So this guy daven Arvit. He says, however, once you daven Arvit, you're not allowed to put on tefillin after that at all. Mm-hmm. Okay? So again, but again, if you're going to tell me he's doing it for Shmira, the rabbi already told us he's allowed to do that at night. You're allowed to put on tefillin at night for shemirah, for safekeeping. Okay? Or shemirah for himself, like we said, he's walking through a desert, or he's walking through a forest where there is demons, whatever it is, he's allowed to put it on for his protection. Are you going to say, Rabbi Sofer believes in demons? Yes. That's a known thing, that there are still demons in forests. The Chachamim did not get rid of all the demons from inhabited places. But where there is no habitation, there's no people living in there, like forests and all those things. The places of whatever it is, they're still there. They could be mazik. They could harm a person that goes in those places. That's why the Gemara very meticulous. Do not travel at night. You're not allowed to travel at night. You're supposed to travel only during the day. All those things. Okay. Siman Lamed Aleph. Din tefillin b'Shabbat v'Yom Tov ubo bet seifim. What about tefillin at Shabbat and Yom Tov? Over here we have 2 halachot. Echad, b'Shabbat ve'Yom Tov asur le'aniach tefillin. On Shabbat and Yom Tov you are prohibited from aniach tefillin, mipnei shehem atzmam ot, for they are also a sign of Yiddishkeit, of being Jewish. Ve'im menicham bahem ot acher, the sign of those days are Jewishness. Shabbat, everybody knows Shabbat. Yom Tov, you're a Jew, you're part of it, and therefore you don't need to put on another sign of tefillin. However, but if you did, if you chose on Shabbat and Yom to put an additional sign that you're a Jew, therefore it would be actually disparaging and disregarding disrespecting the other sign of Yiddishkeit. Right? Again, what is the Jewish? Please, people in our world, there is no Jewish, does not mean anything. The word Jewish, if you're not keeping Shabbat, and if you're not keeping Yomim Tovim, and Chas v'Shalom, if you're not keeping the laws of purity. Yesterday, somebody sent me a video. Donald Trump on Saturday afternoon addressed the Jewish committee in California on Saturday afternoon. What in the world? A Jewish organization. Mr. President, you are the breast for the state of Israel. On Shabbos, they're talking to him. They have a conference with a video, with a microphone, all those Jews. Fake Jews. Those are the ones who cause us all the harm in the world. They are fake Jews, and don't play games with us, and don't tell me, Rabbi, how come you were so divisive? Divisive? They just call themselves Jews. Mechalel Shabbat? Befaresia? On national television, Donald Trump calls them up. They're so important. If I need Donald Trump's phone number, I can get his cell phone number if I need it also. Anybody's cell phone I need. What is this? Nonsense. We're important. Mr. President called us up. We have to talk to him on a microphone. We have to talk to him on a video. On Shabbat. Jewish organization? What kind of nonsense is this? They're the ones who are destroying the world. They're the ones who are causing the harm to the world. They're the ones who are causing harm to all the Jews. Don't tell me this nonsense. I have to respect them. Shem Ra'ayim. We already discussed this 2 days ago. If you're allowed to forgive such Rashaim. They are Rashaim. Call themselves Jewish. הלכה ב' בחול המועד גם כן אסור להניח תפילין. מהטעם הזה בעצמו. Even on חול המועד, which is not Yom Tov, but it's still חול המועד, it's אסור, prohibited for a Jew to put on tefillin because of these reasons. שימי חול המועד גם הם עוד. The days of חול המועד, they're also considered to be sign. And here's going to be machloket from Ramah and Maran, who deviates from this, and he says, ויש אומרים שחול המועד חייב בתפילין. Some say no, that the Beit Yosef even brings Rarosh, again Ashkenazi, that says that on Chol HaMoed you must put on tefillin. That's Shitat Rosh. וכן נוהגים בכל גלילות אלו. Now, whoever was the cities that were under the leadership of Rosh, Allah Shalom, the big tzaddik, big Talmid Chacham, so they all have to put on tefillin. הניחם במועד ולברך עליהם, they put on in the מועד, and they make a ברכה on it. אלא שאין מברכין עליהם בקול רם, however, you don't do it publicly, בבית הכנסת, כמו שאר ימות השנה, you don't make a ברכה on them loud like you do all the rest of the year, and most shuls where they do have such people who follow the Rosh, Shitat Rosh, they put on tefillin on the ladies' side. I was once by Ashkenazi Minyan, and they were putting on the tefillin. So I said, so we're on the right side. No, the other side was screaming at us, no, we're on the right side. Have a wonderful day.